Good afternoon. My name is Angela Seelhammer. I am from the Atlanta Regional Office, the VA Atlanta Regional Office in Decatur, Georgia, so right outside Atlanta there. And our primary functions, right now I'm serving as the acting director because our director left. I normally serve as the assistant director there, so I've been acting since March. And so our primary focus at the Atlanta Regional Office and all the regional offices for the Veterans Benefits Association is to work compensation claims. That's our big thing, compensation claims, and veteran readiness and employment claims. We have certain offices that work other specialized claims, such as military sexual trauma claims, Camp Lejeune claims, and things like that. But in Atlanta, we're strictly compensation and veteran readiness and employment. And one of the things we have in the Atlanta office is we have staff located at all the bases in Georgia. So I have a couple of my staff members here with me today, but we have military service coordinators located right here at Fort Benning. We have them at Fort Stewart. We have them at Fort Gordon. We have them at the Warner Robins Air Force Base. We also have vocational or veteran readiness and employment counselors located here. We have 2 over at the hospital here on base, and at all the other bases we have them. And so our job here on base is to kind of help with that transition. So I know many of you have heard of it. We have the Benefits Delivery at Discharge program. The idea with that is to have a soldier go ahead and apply for compensation benefits if that is something they wish to pursue or should pursue. Within 180 days from their discharge, up until 90 days from their discharge. If you wait till within 90 days after you're going to discharge, it's too late. The claim has to go through the normal process. And so if you do this, it's really great, right? You've got your medical records here. You've got everything you need. We've got our BDD counselors here on site to help you to apply. And then what happens is we hold the claim until your discharge date. And then when you're discharged, your benefits will kick in. And it's that easy, it's that great. But I know a lot of people, when they're transitioning, there's a lot of stuff to worry about when you're transitioning, right? And maybe filing a claim is not what you're interested in. But I always encourage people, if you're going to file a claim for compensation, to try to do that within the year after you exit the military, because you've got all your service records and everything handy. It's the folks that wait a little bit. Sometimes we have problems finding service records and things like that, and you forget about little details about things that happen that we need to make that connection between the disability and your service. And so the longer you wait, I think the worse it is for you. I think that the best thing to do is take advantage of the BDD program. If you're ready, go ahead and apply. We also have folks on base here that work with the IDES, that's the Integrated Disability Evaluation System. So if for some reason an injury occurs and you're working with a med board, we can work with you and get that exam, work closely with the med board and make sure the exam that they're getting for you to decide whether or not you can continue in service or not will work for your compensation claim. And we can perfect that, and same thing as BDD. We'll have the claim ready and on hold, and if you are med boarded out, we'll have that claim ready. You'll begin to receive benefits right after you discharge from the military. So those are 2 programs that our staff here work with on base. Some other things that we do, we're talking about helping people get jobs. So I've heard, we often have veterans that come, and it's hard to transfer a skill that you had in the military to the civilian world for a job. And so we partner with DoD for something called Skill Bridge. Our particular part of Skill Bridge is we have something called the Warrior Training Advancement Course. The acronym for that, you may have heard of it, is WARTEC. So if you're interested in working for the VA and you're interested in being a rater that rates claims, or a veteran service representative that develops evidence for claims, we have a 10 to 12 week course that we offer here at Fort Benning that you can take, and when you finish, you can have an opportunity to work at any of our 56 regional offices across the nation. You're guaranteed an interview. And since that program started in 2015, we've had 70 classes, and I think it's like 1,400 folks that we've picked up with the VA. If you're interested, in keeping a career with the federal government. It's very positive to get a career in the federal government after leaving the military because, you know, that's still federal, so benefits are nice if you stay in the federal system, if you will. Also with employment, I wanted to piggyback on employment in the VA. So we are a very, we love veterans. We love to hire veterans. It's really nice when you're working claims, especially if you're a veteran, you know kind of some of the documents you're looking at, and you have a leg up on non-veterans, if you will, when you're working claims. So we're very veteran friendly. I think about 65% of our staff are veterans, and we have special certificates for military spouses, where if you're a military spouse, we can just look at military spouses on a particular certification for employment. So USA Jobs is where we post most of our things at, and you can tell if it's for military spouses that we're hiring, or you know, just another job outside military spouses. But we do hire quite a few military spouses as well. And just recently, we've learned that if you transition, you know, if your other half gets deployed somewhere else, we will let the military spouse transition and stay employed and be a teleworker at the new location. Because what we've heard is that they gain this wonderful skill set, but they can't move up the ladder because the spouse gets deployed and they have to start over again. So it's really nice if you're like a claims examiner or a rater that you can just jump over to the next office, another office, and just telework at the new location, if you will, and keep your job and keep the longevity there so you can accumulate years in advance, if you will. We also offer the personalized career planning and guidance program. Now, I have some literature down here on the bottom. I think it's quite helpful. It talks a little bit about this planning and guidance program. It's known as Chapter 36. It's a subset of veteran readiness and employment benefits. But things you can get here, I have to use my cheat sheet here. You can get skills and interest assessments. You can get counseling on the best path to, you know, go from a military career into the civilian world. They do benefits coaching to help you understand some of the benefits that we offer, because there are so many. And these counseling services are offered to a transitioning member within 12 months from the time from 6 months from the time you're scheduled to leave service till up to a year after you leave service. And then you could also take advantage of these benefits at any time in your career if you are the recipient of education benefits under the VA. The other thing that we try to do, which is what we're doing here today, is a lot of outreach, because you guys probably, you know, you live a long way from Atlanta and you don't want to have to drive to Atlanta to talk to people. So we do a bit of outreach. In fact, we're one of the larger regional offices, and we're required to do at least 200 outreach events a year, which our guys love to do that, because we like to get out of the office behind the claim and see the veteran. Every piece of paper is a veteran, but we love to see faces. So we enjoy outreach. We enjoy that. But this year to date, just to give you some numbers, this is VBA-wide. We've done 49,000 hours of outreach at 13,500 events. So all the regional offices are out there. In Georgia specifically, we try to pinpoint areas where it looks like the statistics show that not a lot of veterans are using some of our programs, and we try to get into those areas. We had an event earlier this year in Augusta. It was in May, and we were able to help 350 folks there. And we come out with our laptops, and we get to look at claims and help people file claims, and it's a real positive experience. So we did one in Augusta, and guess what? I put it on my calendar here. On September 12th, we're coming back to Columbus, and we're going to be at the Columbus Civic Center, which is on 4th Street. I think you all probably know where that is down here. I'm not familiar with the area, but we're going to be at the Civic Center, and we're partnering with United Military Care, and we're having a We Care fair there at the Civic Center. So I think we have about 24 people coming down to assist with claims processing or filing claims that you can talk to at that event. So I wanted to take a moment to let you guys know about that. VA champions financial literacy. We're always trying to educate our folks on financial literacy. You being in service, I don't know how much you're affected by this, but by and large, veterans are a great targeted population for people that want to do mean things like steal your identity and fraud and things like that, because if you're a veteran, you're going to get, we'll use the example of the PACT Act, which is where we're granting more benefits for people that were exposed to burn pits and toxins, that legislation that passed. So a lot of people are getting large retroactive payments for things like that because it is retroactive to a certain extent. And that's where the predators come in, and they know that you're a veteran and you're going to get a big check, and they can take advantage of you. So VA has set up some programs. One of them is a website called VSAFE, and it talks about, they try to look at current scams going on. If you go in there, it'll tell you what kind of scams are, how to avoid them, and to be careful with things like that. And we're always trying to promote our Veterans Service Organization partners like the Georgia Department of Veterans Services or the American Legion or Disabled American Veterans or Wounded Warriors, because there are a lot of people out there that want to help you get benefits. They want to help you file your claim. They guarantee that you will get money if you do that. You should not have to pay for assistance with your claim. You should absolutely not. All of the organizations I mentioned previously are free. If you are going to seek an attorney's assistance in filing a claim, please make sure it's an accredited attorney. The word accredited is what you need to see, because that means they have been vetted through VA, through our Office of Inspector General or OGC, and that they're safe. They still may charge money, but they're safe, and they have the ability to look in our systems and things like that and check things. Any other attorney that's not accredited, I would not advise that route at all. But there's plenty of VSOs out there to assist with filing claims. So we're very much into the financial literacy for our veterans. VA offers 7 insurance programs. Insurance is really not in my bailiwick, so I took a note here for the one that's the newest. It's called VA Life. It guarantees up to $40,000 of whole life coverage to veterans with a service-connected disability, with your rating being anywhere from 0 to 100%, and there's no time limit to apply for that. So VA does offer insurance. We also, something I don't know a lot about, but I took a note here, CHAMP VA. If you don't qualify for TRICARE and you're the spouse or a dependent of a veteran that's been rated permanently and totally disabled from a service-connected disability, you may be eligible for CHAMP VA. I have a flyer on CHAMP VA on the stage as well if you want more information on CHAMP VA. There's also the VA Home Loan Program. One of the things that just passed back in July last month was the VA Home Loan Program Reform Act. Sometimes folks get into trouble and they're in danger of losing their home. And so this particular bill that passed lets us go in and pay the portion of indebtedness the veteran has to stay in their home. And that just passed recently, so I thought that was that's a great bill. So we can help people stay in their homes, veterans stay in their homes. The other thing to be aware of is depending upon your service connection, your children and your spouse may be eligible for Dependents Educational Assistance. That's our Chapter 35 program. The spouse or the child, if they're enrolled full-time in a college program, can get about $1,500 a month right now, I believe is the FY25 rate. So $1,500 a month there. When you're rated, if your children or spouse would be eligible for that program, it's on your rating sheet. You'll see it, the other programs that you qualify for will be listed on your rating, and 35 would be shown there. So, other than veteran readiness and employment, which of course is a service we offer for folks that are 20% or more service connected, we can offer training to get you into a job, to do that bridge between the military and the civilian world. We can offer degree programs and things there, so that's one of the things we work out of our office on, a very popular program. And then of course compensation is what we do. Dependency indemnity compensation is DIC. If you are the survivor of a service member that died on active duty or from their service-connected disability, you may be eligible for DIC. I will give some advice on DIC. I've had people that said, I'm not going to file another claim. I'm already at 100%. There is no need for me to file another claim. If you have a condition that worsens, you should file another claim, because for your family's sake, if you should die from that, and we have nexus, that is service-connected disability, your family could maybe be eligible for DIC. If you never file that claim because you're like, I'm already at 100%, then it's not gonna work. So I always put that word of advice out there. So if you ever need us, you can go online, you can just type Atlanta Regional Office, it'll come up. We're actually now the Isaacson Atlanta Regional Office. And we have an Ask VA if you like to ask a question online. I think it takes about 7 days to get a response. Or you can call a benefits hotline number, which is 1-800-827-1000. Or you can make an appointment to talk to somebody at the regional office. And all of that would come up when you search the regional office. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys or tell you about is I have another pamphlet down here. It's called a VA Navigator. Every benefit that I talked about and some that I didn't talk about, because VA just offers so many, they are on that sheet of paper, and there's a QR code on there. And you can just scan the QR code and you can read about it, and it'll tell you how to file a claim. Most claims are, of course, filed electronically now, but you can still file in paper for some. So I know that that's a lot of information, but VA offers so much to our veterans, and thank you for your service. I'll pass the mic back on.